Today we have a special guest here at Ikonart. This is Dawn with 7 Arrows, and I'm going to be walking her through the entire process of making an Ikonart stencil from start to finish.
And I'm so excited about that because I have a history with vinyl stencils in sign parties and sign making, but I have never done this process before, so I'm super pumped.
So if you want to learn more about how Dawn teaches people to make money with their signs, stick around till the end of the video and we'll cover that. But as for now, let's learn how to make an Ikonart stencil. All right, the first step to making your Ikonart stencil is printing your design. And you can use any artwork program for this. If you're already familiar with something like Silhouette Studio or Cricut Design Space, you can use that. You can also use Illustrator or Corel Draw. You can also use an online editor like Vector. And you just want to make sure that you're printing nice and dark. That's very important during the process. And all the supplies that we're going to be using today come inside the Ikonart kit. The kit has everything you need to make your first stencil.
Can you use any sort of JPEG or PNG to make the design for your stencil?
Yeah, pretty much any artwork that you can get to be 100% black can be used to make a stencil, whether that is a JPEG, a PNG, SVG file. You want something that's going to be high quality. So if you're using a JPEG, you want it to have nice crisp lines, or an SVG file or a vector file will have those nice crisp lines already. So anything that you can make 100% black in your design program, you can use to make a stencil. All right, so now that we have this printed, let's go ahead and make our first stencil. So you're going to want to open up your bag of film, and this film is light sensitive. That means that when you're not using it, you want to keep the bag closed. So you just take out your stencil film, and then inside the bag, there's also what's called a cover sheet. And every bag of film comes with 2 cover sheets. So when you order a new bag of film, you get a new cover sheet. So you just take that out, and then you'll see that the stencil film has a dull side and a shiny side. So the shiny side is the backer sheet, and the dull side is the top side of your stencil. So you're going to want the dull side facing the light. So you're going to lay that on your stand first. So next you want to lay your artwork on top of your stencil film the way you want your stencil to look in the end. So if there's words on your stencil film, you want to be able to read those words. And then you put the cover sheet over the top of your artwork and you rub down really well. This is an important part of the step. You want to get a really good seal between your artwork and your stencil film. You don't want there to be any gaps underneath your artwork. So just go ahead and rub that down, and that'll help seal that artwork to your stencil film. And it won't let light then come under the edges of your artwork during exposure. That's called undercutting. So that looks great. And then we're going to expose this for 35 seconds. We expose all of our inkjet films for 35 seconds and our laser for 30. So just start the timer, press it twice, and then we'll turn on the light. And now we're exposing for 35 seconds. All right, so now that the stencil is exposed, you can remove the cover sheet, and then we'll just, and remove the artwork. Perfect, and then we'll just grab the stencil and we'll go over to the washout area. So as you guys can see, we are working in light here. You don't need to work in the dark, but this stencil film is light sensitive. So you do want to be kind of working semi-quickly, and you don't want to let this sit out in these lights for like 20 minutes or anything like that. But for now, we'll just go ahead, put it in the sink, and we'll soak it for a little bit first. So just turn on the warm water and get it a little bit wet. And then we will, should be able to see the image up here kind of right away like that. And then just set it in the sink, and we'll cover it with the clipboard while it's soaking so that light isn't getting to the stencil. You just turn off the water, and we'll just like let that soak for about a minute just to soften that emulsion and make washout quicker. All right, now that the stencil's been soaking for about a minute, we can go ahead and wash it out. So just take that off of there, and we'll use the clipboard to wash it out, and you will get a little bit of spray back. If your kitchen sink is nice and deep, it really doesn't make a big difference. In this little tiny sink, we just want to be a little bit careful. And then we're using our trigger jet nozzle. This is the nozzle we sell on our website. You can also get some other sprayers on Amazon to increase your water pressure if you don't have a good kitchen sprayer already, but most kitchen sprayers should be fine. So in order to get that sprayer, just turn on the water, and then we'll turn that to the right. And then you can turn the water on all the way to full. Like the, yeah, yep. And now we'll just spray it out. And in order to spray it out, you're just gonna like, so this has a fan sprayer. You wanna keep it moving. You can use it at full. And the clipboard is nice because you can see what areas, you already washed out and what areas still need to be washed out. But as long as you're using warm water to wash out and a nice, a nice sprayer with good pressure, you should be good as far as getting this stencil washed out fairly quickly. If washout is taking you a really long time, it's most likely that your artwork didn't print dark enough and it let light through during exposure and started hardening in these areas. So as long as your artwork prints nice and dark, this is how washout should go pretty quickly. This is all in real time. And just keep the sprayer moving exactly like that. You don't want to like focus, on any one spot for too much because then that can cause blow-offs on your stencil. So this is looking really nice. So then we'll just, that looks great. So I like to hold it, like, so grab the stencil and then I like to hold it up to a window just to make sure I got all of the areas cleaned out. Because if there'd be a spot where it wasn't washed out, you would want to do that right away. Because if you wait and it hardens, then it won't wash out. Once it cures, it cures. So yeah, that looks great. All right, so now let's head over and dry it. So that stencil looks really great. Now we're gonna dry it. There's lots of different ways to dry. Today we'll just pop it in our film dryer. You can also let it air dry. So put it glossy side down, or the cover sheet side down. And then no matter how you dry it, whether you're using a film dryer or air drying, you wanna grab that little towel first and just dab off the extra moisture. You don't have to do this, but it definitely makes the dry time go a lot faster, no matter which method of drying you're using. So we'll just dab that off, pop it in the dryer for a few minutes, and then once that stencil is dry, we'll post expose. All right, so once your stencil is completely dry, then you're ready to post expose it, and all that means is to put it back under the light for 2 minutes just to finish hardening that emulsion. So you just set it right on top of the stand with the textured side facing up and the smooth side down, just like that. And then you're just going to expose for 2 minutes. So you just turn it on and click the light, and there you go. And you don't need the cover sheet or anything. This is just finishing to harden the stencil, and that makes it extra durable to be able to be reused. All right, so what did you think about your first time making an Ikonart stencil?
I loved it, and I absolutely love the fact that this is reusable too, right? Like I can keep this forever as far as make more stencils and stuff with it?
Yes, both the artwork and the stencils are reusable, so you can save that artwork and make as many stencils as you'd like.
Yeah, that's awesome because my history is with vinyl stencils, and there's only just that one-time use. So I love the fact that you can reuse this over and over again.
Tell us a little bit about how you did get into the sign world.
Yeah, so I started back before I knew anything about vinyl cutters, and I would actually make signs from actual wooden pallets and a paint pen with carbon paper, and I would trace the image onto the sign and then paint it with a paint pen. And yeah, it was crazy. And then I heard about a vinyl cutter. I started with a silhouette, and I started making vinyl cut stencils. And that's how I started with custom signs. And I was a busy mom of 7 children, and I needed to figure out a way that I wanted to kind of make money with my signs. And so I was like, how can I make more money in the same amount of time as it would take me to make this like one custom sign? And so I thought maybe I should hold a class and do signs in a class and teach other people how to make their own sign. And so I started sign parties, and that just took off for me. And now what I do is I actually teach people how to do sign parties and make money with their signs. So
Oh, that sounds great.
yeah.
How can people find you online, or where do they find you?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Seven Arrows. So on Facebook, I have a page called Seven Arrows. I also have a private free group called Sign Parties 101. And that is filled with people and information that's so helpful if you want to get started in this. Again, it's just my passion to teach people how to make money with, with their hobby, their passion, with what they love to do. And in a party setting, I have just found, one, it is so fun. You don't really even need, if this is the artwork, you don't need to be an artist, right? You just need to be able to have fun with people and teach people and gather people in a group. And I teach you all how to do that. And so, yeah, you can find me in that free Facebook group or on my page.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like it would be a great fit for Ikonart Stencils, and the fact that Ikonart Stencils are reusable and can be used for multiple parties in a row versus a one-time use vinyl stencil. So I'm excited to see how you use your Ikonart. And thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.